Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about some of the mathematical parts of physics. One is called as a limitation. Second one is called as a differentiation. And third one is called as a integration. Whenever we are in a need of some of the mathematical notation, some of the mathematical calculation, we are using these three physical or mathematical quantities. First of all, we will discuss about limitation. Limitation is dealing with 2 points. Let's say in a primary you may have drawn some of the graphs. Let's say I have drawn that x and y axis. So first of all I am drawing such a straight line. I am drawing perpendiculars on x and y axis. This is the x1 and this one might be the x2 and this is called as a y. And as you are aware, that is called as a slope. It is called as a m. It is called as a y component divided by x component. So I can have m is equals to y component is called as a delta y and x component is called as a delta x. Though on a y axis we have delta y is y, on a x axis we have a delta x, it is called as x2 minus x1. So you can just utilize our slope over here. Same is the course. Let's say I have a straight line which is located in the two-dimensional geometry. I am drawing two perpendiculars, x1 and x2. Same course I am applying perpendiculars and that is called as a y1 and y2. Let's say I want to show that slope of it. So m is called as a slope. It is called as a delta y divided by delta x. As you know previously, it is called as a y component divided by x component. So we can say that delta y by delta x is equals to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So here this is the notation where we can apply our limitations. Limitations is our limits is been shown with the help of one notation. It is called as a lim. As per lim is there, so it is starting with the initial point, that is called as starting from the point 0. So we can say that limitation delta x tends to 0, it is read as limitation x or delta x tends to 0. If your value might be starting from 0 or your value might be leading towards 0. So it is the ideal notation. So we'll mention that delta x tends to 0, then our formula is called as a delta y by delta x. So this is how our limitation can be applied. Whenever we have only 2 points and we want to get information of only 2 points, let's say I have one point B and another point A. This is on the x axis, that is why I am mentioning that x1 equals to 0 and x2 equals to 5 meter. So my delta x will be x2 minus x1. So it is a 5 minus 0. So my delta x is 5. So whenever we want to get such type of a very simple notation with the limits part, we will use limitation part. So we will have limitation delta theta tends to, or you can say theta tends to 0 is equals to limitation delta theta tends to 0 sine delta theta divided by delta theta. In physics we will use this notation. Rather than putting delta theta tends to 0, you can also use that limitation theta tends to 0 sine theta divided by theta. This is the expression we will be in a need of. And another equation we will use is called as a limitation theta tends to 0 tan theta by theta. Both are holding the value 1. So whenever you are dealing with the only 2 points, initial and final, and you want to show that limits part, So this is the ideal way to represent it. In the next clip we will discuss about there are so many tiny points located on A and B. At that time we will go and discuss about differentiation. So in next clip we will discuss about differentiation. Thank you. Hi students, now we will discuss about differentiation. Differentiation is another mathematical term which we are using widely in physics, that is called as a differentiation. Differentiation is normally utilized by such type of normal introduction. Let's say in a previous we have discussed about limitation. Let's say this is my curvature part. I want to find it out what would be the length or slope of this one. Let's say these are the points. I am mentioning this one on the x-axis is that is by x1. This is on the x-axis, that is called as a x2. This one is starting on the y-axis and ending at the y2 point. So these are the points y1 and y2. So let's say I want to find it out what would be the thickness or slope of this point. As you can say that every point is not linear, that is why at every point my slope is keep on changing. At that time it is quite tough for us to find it out and calculate each and every term. That is why differentiation has been introduced. Let's say I have one point B and A, and this point one point, let's say I'm just mentioning as a point P. I want to find it out what will be the thickness or point or value of this point P. It is quite tough for us to find it out. Let's say very initial condition, let's say x tends to 0, it means that x is gradually progressing towards 0. That is why delta y by delta x is the value of our slope. So we want to find it out those values which are progressing towards 0. It is quite impossible as per using normal maths. That is why if you have a limitation, first of all you have to just give that limits that you are discussing between the points A and B. You have defined those points. Now you want to get any information in between these 2 points. That is why we will go and find it out differentiation. And that is why this delta is replaced by differentiation symbol D, and this delta is also replaced by differentiation symbol D. That is why it is called as a differentiation of y with comparison or with respect to x. So whichever quantity is mentioned after D is been differentiated, and whichever mathematical quantity is placed in denominator after D, it is called as a comparison part. So it is called as a differentiation of y with respect to x. So let's say it has been read as y is differentiated towards x or with comparison to x. I am just putting some of the examples for you how you can read it or write it down. Let's say I have mentioned dx by dt. Next term is called as dy by dt. Then third term, let's say I'm mentioning that d theta by dt. Then another term I'm mentioning over here is called as d by d theta into sine theta. Then we have d by dz sine cube theta, and last one is called as d by dx 3 into sine theta into tan theta. Let's say I have mentioned some of the examples for you. How you will write it down? First of all, keep in mind one more thing, that always any quantity is been compared with a single quantity. Always there must be a single term over here and single term over here. If it is not like that, then we will use some of the properties which we are gradually going to learn. So first of all, learn that how to write it. You can say that differentiation of x, it has been short form, is called as a diff. It is valid also. Differentiation of x with respect to time t. Here you will say that differentiation of y with respect to t. Here you will mention that differentiation of theta with respect to t. So these are the general terms how you will read it. This is sine theta and theta. So you will say that differentiation of sine theta with respect to theta. Here actual time frame I have mentioned that sine cube theta. So you will just say that it is a single quantity first of all. So it is called as a differentiation of sine cube theta with respect to z. And now I have a 3 into sine theta into tan theta. Actually, as per our general term, I have told you that there are three physical quantities which cannot be utilized or differentiated. But first of all, we are right now learning how to read it. So we will utilize and read first of all. It is called as a 3 or differentiation of 3 into sine theta into tan theta with respect to x. So this is the term how we will read it. So in this clip we have learned that how to read our quantities. Let's say I am just giving you another example. I am putting that first of all this formula d divided by x cube, and I am putting x cube, y square and z square. As per rule, you cannot cancel out x cube and x cube. So we are habitual in a primary or secondary that whenever in numerator or in denominator there might be the similar quantity, we are cancelling it out. But right now both are same, but we are comparing and differentiating. That is why we are not in position to cancel it out. So what you will do, you will just first of all read it as a differentiation of x cube, y square, z square with respect to or WR2 x cube. So this is how you will read all your formulas or all your differentiation terms. Now I want to just utilize some of the thing that is called as the properties. So there are four properties of differentiation. Very first property we are learning is called as additive property. So whenever we will gradually learning or do differentiation, these are the steps we will follow. First of all, we will follow properties, then we will apply our formulas, and then we will do some of the mathematical tasks. So right now what we are doing is that first of all we are just doing that additive property. So in additive property what we are doing is that first of all I am mentioning that d by dx a plus b. It's a general formula. So what you will read is a plus b is differentiated with respect to x. But as our formula suggests us that only single quantity has to be differentiated. It is a plus b. So that is why we cannot use directly a plus b. So what we are doing is that we are separating it out. So d by dx of a plus d by dx of b. Yes, you can use b first, you can use a first. There is a positive sign. That is why there is no need to worry about. So it is a very simple property, additive property. You have to just apply addition symbol. Next is called as a d by dx p plus q plus r plus s. Now you are aware that p, q, r and s, these are four quantities, has to be differentiated with a single quantity, which is not possible. So what I am doing is that dp by dx plus dq by dx, dr by dx and ds by dx. You can see that the term which is called as a relative term cannot be changed. It is kept as it is. And initially our numerator terms are gradually separated. So as per our notation, each and every term is differentiated separately, individually. So this is the very first property, it is called as the additive property. Second property is called as the subtractive property. As per subtraction, we will just use simple same terminology. D by dx, a minus b. You can read as a minus b is differentiated with respect to x, but you know that a minus b directly cannot be differentiated. So we are just separating it out, dA by dx minus dB by dx. It is called as, we have applied mathematical notation, subtraction rule, that is a negative sign. That is why I have placed my negative sign. This is the general term I have mentioned that. Let's say I am utilizing some of the more example. Let's say a minus b minus p and minus r. You can read that a minus b minus p minus r is differentiated with x, but actually a minus b minus p minus r is directly differentiation is not possible. So we are doing that dA by dx minus dB by dx minus dP by dx and minus dr by dx. These are the general terms we have utilized. So this is called as a subtraction property. Right now I am giving you one example that will follow all those additive and subtractive properties directly. So let's say I have mentioned that d by d theta sin theta plus tan theta plus x cube minus e raised to x. Instead of a, b, p and r or something a, b, c, d or p, q, r as random numbers, I have mentioned that some of the trigonometric functions, some of the constants or some of the unknown digits or logarithmic part. Right now you don't bother about such type of notation, just follow your instinct or just general your logic. I have told you that first of all see that a plus b plus c minus d like that. So what you will do, it is having additive and subtractive property both together. You are aware that sin theta tan theta x cube minus e raised to x directly cannot be differentiated with respect to x, so we are just breaking it up. So what we are breaking is d by d theta sin theta plus d by d theta of tan theta plus is there, that is why I am putting plus symbol, minus will be there, then I will put my negative sign. So you can see that the differentiation with respect to is kept as it is, plus will be plus and negative sign will be kept as a negative sign. So these are the primitive properties of addition and subtraction. Now we will move to the another important property, that is called as a multiplicative property. It is called as a multiplication. So this is called as a third property, it is called as a multiplication property. So first of all we are just putting and doing multiplication part. So now our third property is called as a multiplicative property, or a multiplication. So as per multiplication, name suggests us that we will do multiplication. So first of all I am mentioning that d by dx a and b. It is called as a turn rule. It is a normal term is called as a turn rule. Why I am using this term that turn rule? Because it is called as a turn by turn. In multiplication you can apply turn to any physical quantity first. There is no restriction over that. But not a single quantity left. First of all I am doing differentiation to a. So d of a divided by x. At that time remaining quantities which are in multiplication is placed before differentiation. So you can say that here b is a normal number or normal constant or called as a capped constant, and dA by dx is called as a differentiation of x is done. It means that we have given the turn for differentiation to a. Now a's turn is over, now it is b's turn, so a is outside, it is called as a dB by dx. So with this called as a turn rule, turn by turn we have given differentiation to each term a and b. Not a single term is left, a और b के अलावा और कोई term बाकी ही नहीं रहा है. और जो भी इट इज़ बिन डिफरेंशिएटेड उसके अलावा टर्म्स इज केप्ट आउटसाइड. Let's say I'm giving you one more wider example for the multiplication. Let's say I have a d by d theta of p, q and r. You can see there are three quantities. Always keep in mind that the number of quantities, that much number of steps. Here we had two quantities, that is why we have two steps. Here we have three quantities, that is why we will have three steps. First of all, q and r I am keeping outside. It means that I am giving the turn of a p. Plus is compulsory because we are doing multiplication, that is why plus is compulsory. You can see over there. Now p's turn is over, that is now a turn of a q. So we have a p and r dq by d theta. Now there is a turn of a r, so we have a p and q outside. So that is why you can see that denominator which has been compared to is been kept as it is, and the numerator turn by turn has been differentiated. So this is the term which is called as our multiplication rule. Now I am just doing combined rule. It is not actually a rule, but I am using and just trying and testing that how you have grasped your multiplication, addition and subtraction rule. Let's say I am just mentioning that d by dt xy plus p. Now you can see that I have applied addition property, additive property, and there is a seen that a multiplication property. So gradually we will apply our logic or concept wise. First of all, we will apply additive property. So d by dt xy plus d by dt and p. Now you can see that there is multiplication because only single term is compared with the denominator with t. So we are applying multiplication rule. Y is outside, dx by dt plus is compulsory, x is outside, dy by dt. So this is the multiplication rule applied. There are two quantities, that is why two steps, and the last one is called as a single quantity kept as it is. This is the solution of it. So this is how you can just apply your multiplication rule, addition property and subtraction property. Now I am giving you another example of addition, subtraction and multiplication, all these three together. So let's say you have a 3 into sine theta plus pt cube and minus b. First of all, what you will do, just have a mental note that you have addition and subtraction. Then you can say that 3 is some number, sine is another trigonometric function, some constant and single constant. So first of all, I am just adding giving additive and subtractive property. So 3 sine theta plus d by dt pt cube minus d by dt and b. So first of all, we have applied additive and subtractive property. Now you can see there are two terms in the first two steps. So what we will do, we will apply multiplication rule. So we can have a d by dt. What you want to give that first? Let's say I want to give sine theta first. Okay. So 3 is outside. Now sine's turn is over. Now it is a turn of a 3. So now my sine theta is outside. D by dt 3. So you can say that from the single term we have applied two terms. Now it is a term of plus is there. So first of all, let's say I am giving t cube outside. It would be dp by dt and plus. Now p is outside, dt cube by dt. You can see that we cannot cancel out t cube or t because it is a differentiation. And the last term minus db by dt. So this is how you can just apply our addition, subtraction, multiplication rule. You can also open the bracket and you can mention like that d by dt sine theta plus sine theta d3 by dt plus t cube dp by dt plus, because plus and plus normal multiplication, dt cube by dt and minus db upon dt. Be careful, you cannot cancel out such type of terms. You cannot cancel out such type of terms, because in differentiation such type of a cancellation is not allowed. So in a fourth property we will discuss about our divisional property or divisional rule. So these are the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and then the fourth property is called as our divisional property. We have now reached to the another property, that is called as a property number 4. It is called as our divisional property. It is called as a divisional property for differentiation. So first of all, divisional property is called as a y is equals to, let's say I have a by b and I want to differentiate with respect to x. So I'm just mentioning that differentiation with respect to x. So it has been d by dx. Now I want to mention that y. Differentiation can be always taken with the two sides. So d by dx, a by b. Now we are just first of all I'm mentioning you one some of the initial portion. First of all, divide this formula in a two parts. Let's say this is your numerator and this is your denominator. So you have to remember like that. First of all, denominator is a square. Now denominator outside and differentiation of numerator. Minus is compulsory. Now numerator is outside and differentiation of denominator. So this is the very primary formula you can remember whenever you are going for the differentiation. So same course we will apply over here. This is our numerator and denominator. I want to go for the differentiation of it. So dy by dx. I have denominator is a square, so it would be a b square. Denominator outside, so b is outside. Differentiation of numerator, that is called as a. Minus is compulsory. Now numerator is outside and differentiation of denominator, that is why d by dx of b. So this is how our formula of divisional property you will apply. This is the very primitive formula. It has been placed in front of you. So whenever you have a divisional differentiation part for the divisional property, this is the primary formula. You have to remember that denominator is a square, denominator outside, differentiation of numerator minus numerator is outside and differentiation of denominator. Now you cannot compromise with your comparison part, means differentiation with respect to what. Initially we have taken that differentiation with respect to x. So always it has been placed that it has been differentiation with respect to x. So there is no compromise over it. Let's say we are solving another example. I am putting in front of you that d by dr of pq and zy. It means that differentiation of pq divided by zy with respect to r. It has been read as like that. So you are right now aware how you can read such type of equation. Now you can just say that this is your numerator and this zy is called as your denominator. So as per our formula, we have just seen that denominator is a square and all of these we will apply over here. So now our equation right now will look like denominator is a square. It will be zy is a square. You can mention z square y square as well. Now denominator is outside, differentiation of numerator, and that is called as a pq. Minus is compulsory. Now numerator is outside and differentiation of your denominator. So this is very simple one, as we have just told and we have learned in a previous part. Now what I am doing is that you can see that p and q are in multiplication, z and y are also in multiplication. It is in terms of a differentiation. P and q are outside of differentiation, so it is unaffected. Same is the course for the z and y. It is also kept unaffected. Now what I will do is that I will apply multiplication rule over here. So I can have a zy. Now p I am bringing outside. You are having liberty. You can bring anyone outside first. Now my q is outside and dp by dr. Compulsory minus sign. Now p and q as it is. I am putting y outside, dz divided by dr plus z is outside, dy by dr whole to the base z square y square. So this is how you can go for the simplification of a divisional property. You can also place that z square y square is a denominator of whole entire numerator, so you can separate out individually, but there is right now no need of it. So this is how initially you have learned that divisional property. For our understanding, let's say we are also going for another good example. Let's say I'm putting in front of you another example. Let's just step by step we will solve this out. So sorry, so right now I am putting that another example in front of you is like this one: d divided by dx. It means that differentiation with respect to x plus y upon p plus q. I want to differentiate this term. So now you are aware that this x plus y is entirely called as a numerator, p plus q is entirely called as a denominator. So I am just naming it as a numerator and this is called as a denominator. Now as per my terms are concerned, denominator is a square, so that is called as a p plus q square. Denominator is outside, so p plus q is outside. Differentiation of numerator, so differentiation with respect to x, so I have x plus y. Minus is compulsory. Now after that what I have? After that I have x plus y is outside, d by dx p plus q. Now you can see that what I did is denominator is a square, denominator outside, differentiation of numerator, minus numerator is outside, differentiation of denominator. Now you can see that it is x plus y, and x plus y is quite unsafe for us because as per our rule it is read as x plus y is differentiated with respect to x, but it's a direct differentiation is not possible. So gradually I am applying this one independently, p plus q. Now additional property, d by dx and dy by dx minus x plus y dp by dx divided by dq by dx. It is called as a p plus q square. This is how you can go. Let's say I want to go for further assessment of this entire our example. What I am doing is that p plus q dx by dx dy by dx, it is called as a differentiation, and whole to the base p plus q square minus x plus y dp upon dx plus dq upon dx whole to the base p plus q square. You can cancel out 1 p plus q, 1 p plus q. Or someone suggested that sir, can't we go for the multiplication inside? Yes, again you can go for the multiplication inside. So your formula will look like this: p dx by dx plus p dy by dx plus q dx by dx plus q dy by dx minus x dp by dx minus, I have multiplied this negative sign, dq by dx minus y dp by dx minus y dq by dx divided by p plus q square. You can go for such type of arrangement as well, but you can see that here in a very simple part in physics, basically in this such type of simple part we can come to our conclusion, and this is called as a tedious method. There is no need right now to go for such type of laborsome expansion. So whenever you are doing such type of differentiation example, whenever you are applying our divisional property, always follow very simple task. first task, first of all identify numerator and denominator and just mentally apply such formula, and then you can go for the such type of examples as well. So now we will just move to another property. It is not actually a property, these are called as a step number 2. It is called as our formulas. So you have gone through the four different properties of our differentiation or derivation. After learning this properly, we will also going through the process of formulas, and then we will combine them. Step number 1 means properties, step number 2 means formula, combine them together and solve all these examples. Now we are solving our formulas first of all, and then we will go for the examples.